Instructional design in a blended learning environment considers two learning spaces, in-person and digital. Each learning space has strengths and weaknesses that you can take advantage of as you design each lesson. In person, it's easier to guide students through and model a process, to incorporate movement, and to add social value to your learning activities. In the digital space, it's easier to give students choice, to allow them to move at varied paces, to make materials more accessible, etc. A blended learning environment makes use of both learning spaces to create a powerful student experience. There are many variations and flavors of blended learning, but the three most common models are the rotation model, the flipped model, and the self-paced or playlist model. All three models take advantage of some basic blended learning principles, like teacher-made videos, student choice, and amplification of student voice. The rotation model uses stations to bring digital and offline learning spaces to life in intentional ways. It happens entirely during class, whether students are present in person or connecting via video conferencing. It involves redesigning a linear, lockstep lesson plan into a mix of stations that students rotate through, both digital and offline. A station could be time with the teacher, while another could be a video of direct instruction that teacher recorded and put in video annotation tool. Another could be an activity in Minecraft where students contribute to a shared project in a build and pass format. Another could be physical manipulatives that the student then takes a picture of and adds to their digital portfolio, along with an audio reflection. In any case, each station's design should be driven by the skills and knowledge it offers, not the tool itself. There is no correct ratio of digital and offline stations. The teacher shouldn't strive for 3 digital and 3 offline stations, but rather use the skills and lesson objectives to guide them. Here are some ideas to consider when planning stations. If you're worried about missing opportunities to hear student thought, encourage them to take pictures of their work and add captions, screencast their work and think out loud through their process, or record audio reflections. These artifacts can then inform individual conferences later on. Have students document their station work in a portfolio that builds over time. If you're worried about students not knowing what to do at a station, record video instructions and models. Consider opportunities for build and play stations, where students can build on and remix each other's work. An example of this is Minecraft, where students can export copies of their worlds and share those copies with other students to pick up where they left off. Use discussion posts to slow play class conversations. The flipped model does just that. It flips the traditional instructional model. Instead of students coming to class to hear the teacher talk and provide them with important information, that teacher talk is recorded for students to view at home. That way, synchronous time can be active and focused on student voices and interaction, rather than passive listening. This model makes several assumptions, like that students have access to internet and an environment conducive to continued learning. It is much more effective if you plan for students to be able to watch recorded videos at school. It also assumes that the teacher has time and resources to record direct instruction. If you are looking to try this model for a lesson or a unit, here are some tips. Keep videos short, chunk them if necessary. Add value to your videos by incorporating student interests, hiding Easter eggs, using visual cues, and more. Embed questions in your videos with tools like Edpuzzle or Nearpod. Focus class time on student voices and creativity. The self-paced model's claim to fame is that it empowers students to move through content at a speed that is ideal for them. It avoids the pitfalls of the traditional model, pushing some students forward who aren't ready, while at the same time stalling other students who are ready to be challenged. The The self-paced model is challenging for the teacher because it involves a lot of preparation, but the benefit of that time spent is that it frees up the teacher during class to be flexible and provide support where it will have the biggest impact. Here are a few tips to consider if you'd like to explore the self-paced model. Use conditional formatting as a form of immediate feedback that creates a lock-unlock effect. There are many resources that will let you create conditions for students to meet before the next activity or content is unlocked. An example of this is Google Forms. When creating a Google form, you can create sections and then add conditional formatting to control the movement from section to section. You could add multiple choice questions that go to different sections depending on your answer. You could also add a short answer question and require that a certain buzzword be contained in the response as a way to unlock the next section. There are a variety of resources that will allow you to set up conditional formatting. This is a powerful way to reframe the student experience from one where they complete the work and then receive a grade for their performance, to one where they're encouraged to take risks, explore, and revise their ideas until they click. Add as many personal touches as you can, so that students don't feel isolated. Be intentional about creating social value, like build and pass activities, peer feedback, gamified activities, and more. Blended learning is all about taking advantage of the strengths of the digital and in-person learning spaces, and not getting bogged down by their weaknesses. Video is a great way to add flexibility to your instruction. If a student has a recorded version of your lecture, they can pause, rewind, and come back to the information when they need it. Look for places where you're doing most of the talking and turn them into videos. Autonomy has a huge impact on student learning. Operating in the digital space provides opportunities to ramp up the amount of options a student has to receive, engage with, and express knowledge. Take what you know about your students and fill your content with it. Students are much more likely to engage with content when they know they'll likely have a personal connection to it. Well-designed blended instruction allows for students to move at a more appropriate pace and for teachers to provide support where and when it is needed most.